Welcome in the ATB show. You can find all of our nonsense at atbshow.com. It'll bring you to our Linktree page. All the links are there. You can enjoy the musings of one William Rubber Shoes Corey every morning on the Instatubes. Brought to you by AAA Work Trucks. That is the Rubber Shoes Wrap Up and Rant. And that's weekday mornings. He is not with us. He is live from the firehouse. So we weren't sure if we were going to just have like an open screen with his microphone and maybe some burgers and tots and nonsense here and there. Gave him a call a little while ago, and he's always the first, like he's 4:30. Places, everybody, places. and I called him, and I'm like, all right, he's getting a cat out of a tree or something, because we weren't really sure. And we usually, over the weekend, start like the roll call, like who's in, who's out, and all that kind of stuff.
Let's be real about it. He starts the roll call. It's like
historically,
Thursday
I started it,
like,
and then
is anybody going to be there
Yes.
next week?
Yeah. Who's available for February 35th?
Yeah, exactly.
2038. Let me check my calendar. Yep.
Right.
So we're down a couple of shoes. He is at the firehouse, and Little Shoes is, I don't know what he's doing. I have no idea, quite honestly.
Who knows?
He's out and about. So you've got myself, Adam in Connecticut, Scotty Dukes live from the palatial Three Seasons in beautiful downtown South Berwick. We will not give out Ice Lane. I would never give your address away. Never. I wouldn't do it. Wouldn't do it.
Who's mowing that lawn, Scotty? That's a big lawn. You go out there and mow
me.
that lawn by hand? Good for you.
By zero turn, not by hand, but yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, he's out there. He's out there.
I was gonna say,
and you can picture this, and I absolutely. And when I'm wrong, I won't be. Stop me, Scotty. Zero turn. He's wearing probably board shorts. If it's like on this weekend, because it won't be too hot, it'll be like a Captain America shirt. Maybe some Pit Vipers. Now, I don't know if you wear ear protection or just headphones to rock out. Not really sure. Although you got a lot of short people running around, so you probably have to stay self-aware of what's going on around you. And then I'm feeling like 3 striped socks pulled up to the knees, and
No socks.
And maybe,
no socks.
And maybe some Kurt Rambis Converse. I don't know. We're all dying to find out, though.
Yeah, desperate to find out.
Definitely no socks. I'm usually doing I got the flip flops typically.
He is a flip flop kid.
You mow the lawn in flip flops? I would never do that.
I do have the Bluetooth big noise canceling headphones.
Yes.
So I can listen to all sorts of different things, and then it's usually you were pretty close about the rest of the attire though. Usually it's either like gym shorts or something, and then a cutoff, either some kind of superhero. I don't have any of that.
But the sleeves are gone.
But the sleeves are gone.
Oh God,
yeah. Are we rocking Oakley Blades or Pit Vipers? What do we got?
Typically it is. I got some Oakleys. I got some really nice Oakleys that I wear.
Okay.
These the very nice golf ones that Mrs. Duquette was able to purchase. Actually, I just accidentally hit my laptop. You can see my shed that's over there. That's the white thing there in the corner.
We can see it. Okay.
Very
that's
nice.
where the mower. That's where my baby's stored. So I just got it back. She's just went through her winter maintenance, and I've already done 2 mows with it so far. So
I think it's impressive that we're a few minutes in and we're still talking fashion, even though Rubber Shoes isn't here.
Rubber Shoes is calling in right now.
Rubber Shoes is he calling in?
So I got to move a whole bunch of things around here. Hang on a second.
Oh no, is he trying to get in?
I think so. Hold on.
Where's he?
He's like, I heard they're talking about fashion. I got to get in on the show.
No, the cat saved, and now he's back.
He's muted in the green room. He's muted in the green room. He can't really
keep him there.
I'm gonna get him in. But here's the thing. now the jig is up. Hold on. I got to put Scotty back. We got to fix everything.
Oh,
I'm gone.
Where's Scotty?
I'm on my zero turn.
Scotty's there. I just got to fix his name now. Hang on. And I told you guys I was going to do this if it happened.
Rubber Shoes, why are you late for the first of all? Why are you late?
I just came back from a call.
See?
Oh, you were
cat
saving a cat.
intrigue.
Got it.
Cat
I had a
intrigue.
medical call and then a car accident, 2 in a row.
Oh, no.
Boom, boom.
Oh, jeez.
man.
Oh no.
I was applauding your heroism, not the car accident. I'm making sure that everyone's.
Yeah. Yeah, everyone's
That's not what we
good.
do in Maine. We don't applaud
Scotty.
car wrecks.
How you
Drive by
doing,
a car
Scotty?
accident like, hey.
I'm
Oh.
okay, I'm okay.
How's
It's been a
that?
rough
So
day.
there's a void on the screen.
So,
Yeah.
are we
it's-
live right now?
Yeah, you
we
came
are,
in
we
late,
Live and direct.
and
Live
now
direct,
everybody's
Rubber
going to find out, and my technical director Robert's going to make fun of me because we've been trying to make sure that we can figure out how to do this because we can't really use. I broke our 4-up. I made our 4-up our
now
3-up.
the cat's out of the bag. All right, the
Yeah,
cat's out of the
bag. So I said, so Adam joked this morning when we were doing roll call. He's like, "Well, I'll be on the show as long as it's not going to screw up the 3-up to the 5-up to the 4-up." So I'm like, "Well, if we have to go to a 5-up because Rubber Shoes is in and we knew Little Shoes was out, I have an idea of what I can do with the open tile." So
Yeah, it's perfect.
yeah, we're just leaving that. We're leaving that. And all kidding aside, Scotty, we love you. We're glad you're back, and all of our juju to you and your family and your mom. And this one's for Mikey today, for sure.
Totally is.
For sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So the Bruins hopes sit there in the corner, with nothing to say. There's no activity in that corner. That's what we're leaving.
Yeah.
That we will get to the Bruins eventually. Rubber Shoes has joined us from beautiful downtown Lowell, where he has saved a cat and administered, initial response to a car accident. I hope everybody's okay, Rubber Shoes.
They looked like they were gonna be all right.
We're glad you're here. You're very well.
He was like, "You guys look good. I gotta head back to the podcast."
I wouldn't be back here if it was still a situation.
You guys
Oh,
look all right.
I don't know. I got to be honest. I don't know. I feel like,
50-50 chance
listen,
there.
rub some dirt on it. You're going to be fine.
He looks at
I
his
got
Apple
places
Watch.
to
Oh my
be.
God, it's 5:00. I don't care that you're bleeding out. I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
I got to talk about the Canadians getting the
I
number
will
one
have
pick.
to bounce to. I have to. So today we had my office is not in today. We had a sub officer during our day, and tonight I gotta be the fake officer.
Oh, well, I thought you meant like somebody that makes sandwiches. What's happening with a sub officer? What is taking place?
Yeah. So they hired an officer for the day for overtime, and they decided to hire another firefighter for tonight, and so that means I'm gonna be running in charge tonight.
Oh,
I'm
The plot
as they say, the
thickens.
temporary officer of the night.
dear citizens of Lowell,
Yes.
hold your loved ones.
When we asked our listener, singular, when we asked our listener, why do you listen? I come for the sports. I stay for the work schedules. Yep.
And the closet talk.
Closet talk. Yes.
You missed some really good closet talk, Rubber Shoes, before you jumped on. Did you hear
Oh,
any of
really?
it or no?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh yeah.
We
Yeah,
so
we heard all
Scotty
about
Scotty
Scotty's
Dukes is
sick
out
uniform.
on his palatial 3-season porch, and we were talking about the fact that he's got that huge yard.
Yep.
And Adam was asking who cut it, and he does not do it with a metal rotating push mower like he's from Caddyshack. He's got a zero turn, and I was guessing what he was probably wearing, and I was pretty close. Board
Very
shorts. Flip flops. I was wrong. I was thinking Kurt Rambis Converse, but he goes with the flip flops. Captain America, some superhero shirt with the sleeves cut off to show the pipes,
Yep.
of course. Right?
Obviously.
Yes.
Does it have a cup holder?
Can you see Mother Dukes? Can you see
yeah.
Amy washing the dishes, looking out and saying, "That's my man," while he's
that's
rocking out to like Tesla with his pit vipers on, cutting the lawn.
Signs everywhere.
Well,
Signs.
I come in and then she goes, "You wore the sunglasses and you have raccoon eyes." is
Oh, I
basically
love
the
all of
line.
this.
All the
Oh,
time, all the
yes,
time. Like, she just shakes her head and yeah.
She's like, "That's my man."
You
That's
need
right.
the Nick Saban, the big. You need the big fedora like that. That
Oh
huge,
yeah,
like
that would
with
be amazing.
a beekeeper's hat. That's what you need. We'll get you one of
So
those.
when you do it this weekend, Scotty, snap a selfie and send it our way. I'd like to check it out.
Will do. Absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
when do Nate and when do they take over? Shouldn't that be happening? Aren't they
Actually,
close?
so
Wait, how
they
old are
actually,
they?
I have, so that the shed you can see back there, actually, there's 2 tractors, 2 riders. The zero turn is mine. Mikey, God bless him, gave me his, when they moved into the 55 over community, where
Yes.
they don't have to do anything.
Yes.
He gave me
nice,
his
yeah.
other.
4 years out, baby. 4 years out.
Yeah, right. He gave me his Craftsman rider. So that is what the boys use. So they.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So they typically will do the side over
I love
here
all of this.
and that no one really sees. And then I do the back and the front, and then the back.
Oh,
wow.
they're cutting their teeth, pun intended, on the backyard where nobody can actually see whether they
The side yard. Yeah, exactly.
Side
Yeah.
yard, no, yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing near the road.
Let's
How
just
old when
put
did
this
they
in
start,
perspective.
Scotty? How old were they
Last
when they
year.
started?
So last year was their first time using the rider. I do also have a push mower in there for like the hard to reach places.
How big is this shed?
That's good size.
What are you doing?
He's
there?
a Mana.
Right
I
there.
know. It's got lots of space.
He's
I
a
know. I know.
Mana.
That's
Love
a
it.
big shed.
Love it. Well, Rubber Shoes, don't worry. You didn't miss anything. We've been talking about fashion choices and lawn care. So you're just in time. We do obviously want to
Log
get
in
to
20 minutes in.
I think our big nuggets, obviously Celtics, super excited. And Al, what a performance. We'll talk about that. We're going to touch on the Bruins' hopes, God help us. And I think we got to talk about the Haas's and the fact that Rich Strike came out of left field and took that. And then, of course, the fact that Tom Brady is set to make more money after retiring than he made while he was playing.
Right.
Which is amazing. So where do we want to go? Somebody take me somewhere, and we'll talk.
Well, you got to start. We got to start with the Celtics. I mean, the Celtics
do
are
that.
the
Let's do
most
that.
pressing issue of our day, and we've got a game
Deserved.
tonight, which I'm very excited about.
And we're both pressing in right around the corner. It's like an hour, 2 hours away, less than that.
Yeah, that's right. Right. I actually canceled a meeting that I had tonight because of the Celtics, so I'm very excited.
Good
about it.
man.
Wow.
Yes, I know. It's a
Wow.
really important meeting too. So I have to say that I think that the Celtics. Okay, so I know it's 2-2. It probably could be 3-1. It was very close to being 3-1. The only game that they really struggled, I feel like, against the Bucks was game 1. I mean, even game 3, I know the Bucks took a big lead into the fourth quarter, but it was just one of those weird things where we just weren't knocking down shots. So I feel like now that Tatum has sort of found his rhythm a little bit in the fourth quarter of this last game, and obviously Al Horford has showed up over the last couple of games. And actually, even in the first series, he was really a real key to their success defensively for sure. So I think personally we're, I don't want to jinx us by any stretch of the imagination, but I definitely like our chances tonight.
Well, I didn't
I
jinx
agree.
them by saying they were going to win the next 3 in a row, so we're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I agree. I think, game 3 might have been one of the more frustrating games to watch, mostly
Yeah.
because just Tatum, you haven't seen Tatum look like that since, there was a couple of games he had like in November and December this year where the team was still trying to figure things out and he looked like shit. And he looked just awful. He looked totally thrown. And the way that Milwaukee, I thought, was playing him was the way the Celtics played Durant.
Right.
They were really throwing a lot of people at him, but he started to really find that rhythm in game 4. And game 3, the officiating's been horrible in the postseason as a whole, not just with the Celtics games. I've watched almost every postseason game. I even watched some of the games last night, which were by far the worst 2 games in the playoffs so far this year. But with that call against Marcus Smart, that was a foul. It was a shooting foul. It's not even close.
100%.
They've been calling it all year.
Yeah.
And they've been calling it all year. And then they don't call it there. And even with that, with Tatum, 4 for 19, the horrible call, they were a half a tick away from tipping and tying that game. You know what I mean? Or winning that game. So I think that Middleton's a huge loss for Milwaukee. And we're kind of dodging a bullet there.
Just going to ask you about that. So
it's a huge, huge loss for them, and I think that's a big reason. Not saying they can't beat them without them because they were, I think, 2-1 against them this year. But go ahead, Timmy.
yeah, well, so that and I like moving into that conversation about are we behaving differently? Are we playing differently? Is all of this going the way it's going because of his absence? And above and beyond that, did we sort of get fooled? Did we create maybe a little too much mental bravado coming into this one? And again, it's tied, but hear me out. I think everybody thought going into the Nets series that the Nets were a different team. And they didn't show up.
Right.
So, and that was exciting, and it was fun. It was fun beating them. It's great moving on. But then we get to this one, and I feel like, and world champs without fail. World champs with Middleton. And without Middleton, we're now tied and back in the driver's seat. And all of this is good news. My only concern is I feel like a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, as an official masshole, and Rubber Shooters knows what I mean. We love our 2 radio stations. I listen to one more than the other. But you hear a lot of people around New England talking about the fact if we clear this hurdle, it's smooth sailing, which makes me want to throw up a little bit in my mouth. I just did. So I think we have a lot of work in front of us, and I'm just not sure. I'm not sure if we played anybody that's really been who we thought they were. Who was that, Coach? They are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Dennis Green. Thank you. I don't feel like I feel like the Nets weren't the team we expected. Thank you. And I feel like we're playing somebody, and we're playing really well. I'm not saying that we're not. I think without Middleton, you keep remembering like, oh my God, yeah, Middleton's not out there. How different would this game be without him? And yes, we didn't have Time Lord. I appreciate that as well. Mm-hmm. But we also arguably have probably one of the greatest unsung league heroes. Like JT is just waiting to get coronated as a hateable player. And that's my next question, and then I promise to shut up because you guys know more than I do. I always go into these series. Like my guy for the Bruins, we'll get there later, maybe. They're quietly sleeping in the corner. When we get to the Bruins, the player on the Bruins right now, the player on the Hurricanes right now that for me is hateable. You go into these series, I haven't really seen you. If you haven't spent a lot of time watching these, you grow to learn about a team over 7 games.
Right.
And Pesci for me is the hateable kid. Because he's the UNH kid. He's always around the puck. He's always touching the puck. He's like their Marchand, it feels like, So my question for you guys, do you feel like Giannis is growing into hateable level? Is he turning into the guy that he might be the new LeBron for us? Because of the calls, putting his hand on the back of JB's neck.
No. And honestly, he's really hard to hate because he's one of the few humble superstars, especially in the NBA. He's super humble. He's got a chip on his shoulder. That's what any superstar should. And it drives me nuts. He uses his offhand every time he goes to the rim, and they don't freaking call it to just shove people and be like, "Hey, look at that! There you go." That's what drives me nuts about him. But he's not an arrogant prick. He's not one of these guys that I root to I really hate. There's one on the team. It's Grayson Allen.
Sure.
You guys, but he hasn't done anything to really deserve the Celtics fans' ire.
No, I feel like he's drifted away. He was very active game 1.
That first round, he was huge.
Yep.
Against Chicago, he had some big games, but he hasn't shown up at all. To answer your first question, how different would it be with Middleton? I still think it's 2-2. I still think it's 2-2. It's a different feel for sure. And they're a different team, but you think about some of the other guys that have stepped up in their wins for Milwaukee. Bobby Portis, Allen obviously had a big game 1. Drew Holiday has played, pretty well in their 2 wins, things like that. These are guys that wouldn't necessarily have the spotlight on them if Middleton was there, but I still think it's 2-2. I love all of this. I just had to stop. I was like, what was that? I still said before it was Celtics in 6, and I still believe that. And I'm hoping Time Lord comes back. I haven't heard a status for him tonight, but I'm hoping he comes back either tonight or for Game 6 because it's going to be huge to have him. And he really needs to be healthy. If the way things play out, and they do move on and they play, which I think is going to play Miami, they're going to need Time Lord to match up against Bam. That's going to be an absolute epic showdown. But not getting ahead of ourselves, I think it's a huge game tonight. But I don't think Giannis is hateable. Go ahead.
I definitely don't think Giannis is hateable.
Yeah, we're not there yet. I just don't know if he grows into it. That's all.
It's funny because, I think I shared last week, I've been watching with my girls the games for the first time any playoff run for the Celtics. And they will start to say, "Oh, I hate Giannis." Because they don't really know anything about him. They just know that he's destroying some of our guys and just leaving them for dead. Good. So he's amazingly good. And I always say to them, I'm like, there's a lot of people to really hate in the NBA, but he's not really one of them. I mean, even if you just listen to the guy talk. I would disagree a little bit, though, with you, Scotty, about Middleton, not the difference without Middleton there. I think one of the things that's happened to the Bucks, at least in the last 2 games, is that Giannis has been so gassed down the stretch that we've been able to creep back into the games. And they don't have the knockdown guy who can shoot consistently. I know like Grayson Allen has his moments and made, like you said, made a bunch of shots against Chicago, and Bobby Portis. I was surprised that neither one of those guys really stepped up in one of their home games. That really surprised me. But Giannis down the stretch, I mean, in quarter 1, 2, and 3, he looks unstoppable. Like we can't do anything to keep him away from the rim. And then all of a sudden, he just starts to wear down a little bit. And it's not a criticism of him because, I mean, he's doing basically everything that the team needs him to do on both ends of the floor. So anybody would be gassed. I just think he's so used to, in the fourth, being able to lean on Middleton a little bit so that, you know, he can come down the floor and not take a series off, but or take a possession off, but at least be able to catch some wind before he has to go back and play defense again. I kind of think that's what's going on in the fourth quarter, at least of game 3 and 4.
No, that's a good point, and he's playing a lot of minutes. I mean, I've seen him more than in the first 4 games. I'd say 3 out of the 4 games I'm seeing him, or if not every game, he plays an entire quarter. You know what I mean? Like he barely comes out of the game, and if he does, it's for a quick blow of 3 minutes of game time, and he's back in because they can't afford to not have him on the floor. When he's on the floor, I'm sure the plus minus has got to be outrageously different. You know what I mean? It's swaying in the Celtics way, but.
Well, the same thing with Tatum. Tatum hasn't had much time off when they've been pretty close. So they're only rotating 8 guys out of the whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But you know the thing about Tatum, not to interrupt you, but the thing about Tatum is that right now we're not relying on him for everything. You know what I mean? Like the Celtics to me are a really well-rounded
especially when he only
team.
gets 10 points.
What's that?
When he only gets 10 points.
Oh, well, yeah, right. But even then, he took 19 shots. He was 4 for 19. He was terrible. But
just the kind of shots, Adam, to your point, it's jump shots. It's not going to the rim like Giannis is every time. To your point,
and that's why Giannis is like worn down physically from just crashing into the rim every time. Go ahead, Adam.
I mean, every time I see him go up against Grant Williams, I think to myself, like, I hope Grant Williams doesn't get hurt. But also, it probably hurts him a little bit. You know, Giannis every time to just run into that guy because, you know, Grant Williams is small compared to Giannis, but he's not a small guy. I mean, he's a big piece of guy. So, you know, I think that it's potentially could be just beating him up every time he goes to the rim. So, you know, I'll be interested to see how he does in the fourth quarter of tonight's game. That, you know, maybe it's just an anomaly that they were able to come back the last couple of games. Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not an issue. Hopefully we're ahead going into the fourth quarter.
It's funny that you mentioned, you know, because they've been calling him that. And, like, this is just me thinking old school, and I think about bigs, and I think about, here comes my stamp of my date right across my forehead. I think of like Parrish, McHale, just like, and, you know, like just taller guys, you know?
Yeah.
But from a girth standpoint, from a size standpoint, and a strength standpoint, Williams they keep calling him as one of our bigs, and he's been the guy that's been willing to stand in the way and defend Giannis to the best of his ability. Which I mean, you're sort of just going out there to fall on your sword to some extent, but he's been hyper effective sometimes too because he has caught him off guard. He's willing to take the blow. He's willing to plant his feet. There's been some horrible calls. I'd love to know how the three of you feel about some of these calls where feet aren't planted or they are planted. And, you know, I appreciate that this is entertainment at its core and they want everything to go to 7 games, hockey, basketball, all of it. But, like, there's been some really bad whistles on the ice and certainly some really bad whistles on the court. Like, just unbelievable calls. To your point, Scotty, the end of the game where he was clearly shooting, you know, as sloppy as it looked, his motion was to take a shot, and they didn't call it. That was unbelievable. And there's just been some other stuff where it was a block, it wasn't a charge, and vice versa. And who do you think is a factor tonight? Like I'd love to see somebody on the Celtics that we're not expecting, and I thought because Al needs a blow, Al needs to show up again, but he's probably not gonna. He's probably not gonna. Yeah, he's probably not going to Ivan Drago, you know, again at the rim, which was amazing. That was so good. It was everything, right? And as soon as he did that, you're like, game on and game over. Like, you confidently felt like this is it. He's on fire. And when he was chirping at him, and he's like, okay, walking away, you knew he was pissed. But then for him to slam on him and throw a random elbow.
By the way.
What's that?
I hated that I hated that. They gave Giannis a technical for like the stare down.
Oh,
I hated
yeah,
that.
that
I know
was
they do
terrible.
that.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
not
terrible.
that's not good.
That's how the NBA is now. But
Yep.
that's terrible. Like, and I love. I mean, Horford's response to that. Yeah, like to your point, Tim was like, yeah, all right,
Yeah,
okay,
good.
And then
See how it
I
goes.
mean, he was ridiculous. 6 for 6 in the fourth quarter. 16 points, and I think the team shot like 16 of 18 in that fourth. To your point, Adam, you don't want to get in that situation, right?
Right.
And in game 2, they didn't. Now, granted, they shot and made a bunch of threes in that, but that's been the only game that has really, for the Celtics side, has been a blowout, obviously. But yeah, it's tonight, Tim. I would say, I think he plays well always at home for the most part, and I'm just, from like a sneaky person and he hasn't really played great this series, even though I thought he played really well.
I hope you say it. I hope you say it.
Peyton Pritchard.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's who I
I
was
would
gonna
love to
say,
see.
too.
I think I could see
Same.
Pritchard making some big shots tonight. They've been giving him, he's definitely played some meaningful minutes.
Yep.
Like, who was the first person that gave him Horford a chest bump after the dunk was
Right.
Pritchard.
Right.
You know what I
Yep.
mean? So I mean, he's out there. That was 6 minutes to go in the game.
Yep.
He's played some meaningful minutes and he's taken some good shots. They just haven't gone down. They didn't go down in Milwaukee. So, I mean, I still think Brown and Tatum, are going to show up tonight. Tatum dropped 30 last game. I kind of expect something very similar again tonight. I'm hoping Brown, he's averaging 20 plus a game. You know what I mean? I'm just hoping he continues to do that and continues to be aggressive. But that was my pick.
I love Peyton
Tim,
Pritchard. I hope he has a great night. But in my heart, I don't know why I feel this way. It's going to be Tice.
Oh,
Tice
Oh, that's
has
an
the
interesting-
unexpected game tonight because he was.
But that's weird because that's
He
only
was
if
not
Robert
great the
Williams
other night.
isn't playing though.
What's
If
that?
Robert Williams is playing, Tice isn't gonna see the floor. I don't think.
No, he's not.
Yeah, Tice only plays if someone gets in foul trouble.
Which drives me a little bit nuts because he held us together in the net series. Not that there was ever in doubt really, but he was out there, kind of really holding down the center of the court when we played the Nets. So
Do we know if Williams is in tonight though? Is he? In?
we don't.
He's
have,
right now.
I
He's
don't think
questionable.
Okay. Okay.
He's questionable stuff.
Yeah, but when Tice has been in there, it's just automatic foul as soon as he gets in there.
No.
Not to
Sorry.
his fault because I don't think he's doing anything, but they
Right.
like call him. Did you get something, Scotty? Did you say out?
Yeah. Sorry, he's out. They just ruled him out 8 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
So
They
maybe
just
it's
ruled him out.
Tice. Maybe it's Tice.
There you go, Timmy.
Tice.
There it is. I love it. I
I
love
was
it.
going to say though, Tim, you asked about Tatum, right?
Yeah.
And whether or not he has sort of reached that pinnacle of hatred around the league. I don't think he's quite there yet because he's, to me, as much as I love Tatum and I think he shows up a lot of the times, he's not exactly automatic, right? Because Giannis is going to give you like 30 and 15 every night. I mean, he might give you 45 and 18, but he's definitely going to give you like 30 and 15 every night. Tatum is not going to do that every single night. He's not yet. I think he will get to that point.
He hasn't turned into like for the Bucks, the get on my back, boys. I'll get us there.
Right.
Is Giannis. If you have, if you look at the Celtics, it's sort of like running back by committee.
Yeah.
Like my whole point of asking you guys who will it be tonight, and I'm not saying they're not all talented. Can you imagine a night where JB and JT were just Clickosaurus Rex, and Time Lord was healthy and in,
Right.
and
That was game 2.
Uncle Al's dropping 60.
Yeah.
Like I mean, whatever he's snorting, injecting, eating, rubbing into his gums, like do it again. That was amazing.
It'll be interesting what Milwaukee does tonight because that's they're taking Tatum and Brown out and they're saying beat us with your other guys. And Horford did that last game. He's the one that beat him. So we need those secondary players to step up. Marcus Smart to go off for 20-something. Grant Williams to go up for. So one of those guys has to chip in with 20 plus to make it a game.
Yeah,
That's
and
the best
and
thing I
it's
think
good.
about the
It's good.
Celtics.
Sorry. Go ahead, Scotty. No, go ahead.
I was going to say that's the best thing about this team, and not just offensively but defensively, where they have options. Right? We talked about like how worn down Giannis has been. Look at everyone that they've thrown at him throughout this series.
Right.
I mean, they've Tatum, Brown, Horford, Williams, Tice, Williams the third, Time Lord. That's 6 guys off the top of my head that I just named. They've all guarded
Even
him.
Marcus.
Yeah, I mean everyone. Smart. Yeah,
we haven't
Marcus
even
is our-
talked about him yet. He's
I
been
mean,
great.
there's so many people that have gone and thrown themselves at Giannis, and
Yep.
all have done relatively good job. You know what I mean? They've all made him work, and that's the big thing, is just making him work every single time he gets it, because that's what you need to do. And I'll say, anytime he shoots a three, I get goosebumps of happiness. I'm like, yes, man, shoot a three. Go ahead, man. Go ahead, shoot a three whenever you want. Whenever you want, I'm okay with that.
But I think the
Even
biggest
the mid-range,
thorn in our
even the
side
mid-range.
has been Brook Lopez. When he's been in there and they've been trying to go in against Giannis and Brook, you can't do anything. They're still trying to force shots up there.
Yep.
When he's got in foul trouble and been out, it's been a lot easier for them.
Have you noticed that Brown has doing a lot of pull-up mid-range? Like he's been
Yeah.
driving hard. He's been doing, he's done a lot of that stop and go. He'll stop and then pop right like around 15 feet, 14 feet away. Because, like to your point, Giannis and Lopez are down there. He's like, I'm not going down there. I tried that in game one. Didn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a big adjustment there.
Lopez is the villain that to me on the Bucks. I can't stand Lopez.
I agree.
Like I love Giannis.
So
I root against him when the Celtics are playing, obviously, but outside of that, I'm rooting for the guy. Lopez, I want him to retire as fast as he possibly can.
Mine is actually Wes Matthews is my villain on this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's terrible
holds the crap out of Tatum. He's just holding him constantly. He's super floppy. Like some of those, I think a couple of Tice fouls were offensive fouls on picks where like he's just, Matthews is just falling down. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculous. So to me, like out of everyone, I think it's really Wes Matthews has been driving me freaking nuts. Like, get out of here. Speaking of someone that should retire, he's like 35. Get out of here.
Oh,
So that's the thing with the officiating. It's so you don't want the players to flop, but when they stand in there and take a charge but don't fall on the ground, they don't call the penalty. The only time they call it is when they flop.
Yep.
It's so aggravating. Like, you make them play this way because you don't make the calls unless they do it.
Right.
The problem with the officiating though is not just that the problem is it's so uneven, right? And not even just it's one way or the other. Like the Bucks get a good call or the Celtics get a call. It's like they don't call the same foul the same way every single time. That to me is the biggest problem. Because if they call a charge, no matter exactly the way it's supposed to be called, and they do it against the Celtics 100 times, and they never call it against the Bucks, that's fine with me, as long as you're being consistent in how you call it. Because if you're a player, if you're Grant Williams and you're standing in there trying to take a hit from Giannis, how are you possibly going to know if what you're doing is a charge or a block if they're calling it different every time you come down the floor? That's the biggest problem.
I mentioned it during like our group text or whatever. I was ranting is that the NBA with the officiating especially is so context driven from a player perspective because you could have the exact same play with Giannis compared to the exact same play with Grant Williams and it'll be called differently because it's Giannis 100%. And it's because it's Williams. And to me, that's not the way it should go. It's a super physical series, so it makes it really hard to officiate. I get that. But they haven't been consistent on the way they want to officiate. And that's been the thing. And, the Celtics came back in a big way in that game 3 because they started to get the calls and went to the free throw line a bunch, right? Granted, those were the same fouls that Milwaukee was doing in the second quarter and some parts of the third. The third quarter, they just threw the ball away a ton in the game 3. But anyway, like it's just – and it's like that it's not just the Celtics in Milwaukee. Luka gets a bunch of calls against Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That, nobody else is going to – Jalen Brunson's not even getting it for his own teammate, All these things. That's just the way the NBA is. It's such a superstar-driven league that they give them this benefit constantly. And it's just maddening. And to your point, when you mentioned it earlier, Tim, about is Tatum at that like hate level or that superstar level, you could tell he's not at that superstar level across the league because he doesn't get freaking calls. And he should.
Exactly right.
That's the barometer. You're right. You're so right.
So many calls on him, and it's insane. He should be going to the line between 8 and 10 times a game, if not more. Right. And he goes maybe 6. And it drives me nuts.
But here's sorry, Tim. Here's the problem to me. The reason the Celtics often don't get calls is because they complain about the calls. It drives me absolutely insane. Giannis, he doesn't get a call. He turns around and runs down the other end of the floor. Yep. Tatum, if he doesn't get a call, he lays on the ground, looks at the ref, claps his hand, yells something at the ref. It's like, just get up and go play defense. I'm not saying don't argue any call, but don't argue every call. That drives me
and
absolutely bonkers.
what's most disturbing about that behavior is it runs parallel with what you see LeBron doing. And there's been so many memes and so many videos you see on social media. LeBron expecting to get the call, doesn't get the call. Everybody heads up field, right? Everybody heads up court really fast. And then they set up and they slow down. They're setting up their play. And the guy, whoever's doing the video, is just like, all right, keep waiting. He still hasn't come up yet. And then you see LeBron walk up. And he's not there, but it's a learned behavior because they see ultimately right now, I'd argue, the superstar in the league, although it's Steph Curry. They see who a lot of people think is the superstar in the league doing it and not getting back on defense.
Yeah.
And oh my God, LeBron, he's 62 years old and he plays the whole game. Yeah, because he doesn't run the whole fucking court. He never does. Right. He never does. It's a lot of lying down, Yeah. I mean, so I don't know. It's interesting. What are your thoughts for tonight? What are the picks for tonight?
I like the Celtics' chance. I think we're going to get a couple of buckets from Pritchard and from Grant Williams that we wouldn't otherwise get on the road. And I think I don't think they win it going away like the Heat did the other night, but I think they will win it handily, probably by 10.
Oh, I like that. Scotty, what about you?
I think it's going to be close again. I see the Celtics winning. I definitely like the home court, especially. I really do. And I think it's going to be close, though. Probably like a 5-point game.
Okay. Rubber shoes?
Celtics by 11.
Oh, he was
like
he had
like
that
Price
one
is Right
baked and in the window still cooling. That was ready to go. I like it. I'm going to say this because I'm just annoyed because I want to be near right, which I never am. That's why you guys have me. Where's overtime?
Oh.
I'm stunned. I'm really stunned.
It's not hockey.
We all 5-1 doesn't get you to overtime either.
We had a chance at overtime in the third game, and it just didn't happen.
Just
it's true.
I fear it's going to be an overtime. I don't want it to be, but I think it's going to be an overtime, and I think it's going to be Celtics by 2. So
before we leave the Celtics, Timmy, I just want to ask Scotty something because you said you watched the other games, the other games last night, and then I've been watching a sprinkling of some of the games. You feel like the defensive intensity in our series is like on another level, right? I mean, you watch some of the Heat game last night. I was like, is anybody even playing defense? I mean, Jimmy Butler was like 6 feet off the guy on the 3-point line. I don't understand.
When you have Strauss just like wide open and nobody near him, knocking down threes and stuff. And you're also seeing the two best defensive teams in the league go at it. So that makes a big difference too. And if you look around, and not just from last night's games, but, look at the Memphis game too, that series as well, where that's – this is going to sound such a dick's comment, but it's not really good defense. It's just a lot of missed shots. Golden State missed a lot of shots in Game 4. They won the game, but that game was close without Ja, mostly because Memphis they played hard, but Clay missed a lot of open shots. Steph missed some shots, and things like that too. But yeah, you're looking at the two best defensive teams in basketball, and I honestly think Philadelphia is more of a team where if things aren't going their way, they're the biggest pouters in the league. Between Embiid 100%. And Harden, they ain't call it for me. I'm not going to play anymore. They're just it's we're down by 10 and there's only like 6 minutes left in the second quarter. We can't make this comeback. I don't know. They are. I think they're weak-minded, to be honest with you, from a Philadelphia perspective. Plus, they got Doc, and I love Doc, but from a playoff coach perspective, not so much.
Yeah,
but
Philly was looking like they were stuck in mud last night. I mean, it was ridiculous. For a fifth game of a play, was that the fifth game or the fourth game? Oh, fifth game of the series.
That was 5. Yeah, that was 5.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. All right. Anyways, I just was curious what you thought.
Well, we're either going to quickly talk about the Bruins, or we're going to real quickly talk about the Red Sox. I mean, we can spend time. I'm happy to review what everybody picked for win totals. Do we want to go over that? Because I was
Start with
Todd
rubber
and
shoes.
feathered
Early.
and Todd and feathered.
Tim's going
All
to
right.
win the championship
Oh.
on that.
We'll remember this when they win 95 games at the end of the season.
It's
Okay.
still
Rubber
early.
shoes.
I'm with,
Very
I'm with Billy
delusional.
on this. I'm telling you, it's still early.
Cora shaved. It's all over. They're back to normal now. Cora shaved his beard, so now they can, stop playing 800 ball.
I love it. I love it. I love it.
I can't believe
I wanna be
you're
wrong.
talking
Last
about it.
night they have Evaldi going tonight. They win 2. That's a streak, 2 in a row.
Wait. What
Oh, hold it.
last-
Hang on. Rubber shoes. Could you repeat that?
Yeah.
Is that the new math? That's the new math. All right.
Yeah. Carry the 2.
Streak. Okay, got that.
Can we run the tape back though on last week? Because I think Rubber Shoe said almost the exact same thing, and I don't think it made any difference. You
Yeah, they
listed
lost
off
every
who they.
game until last
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
And this is after he shaved.
right.
No,
No,
Cora
you didn't see the
shaved
shave thing.
Monday.
Yes. Yeah.
Their
He
day
shaved
off.
before last night's
Shaved.
game. So that's
No, but last week Rubber Shoe said, "Well, we've got this pitcher going and this pitcher going," and listed all 3. It's like we got to at least win a couple of those games, and we lost every single
All right,
game.
so Cora shaved before the game on Monday, or they have Monday off?
No, before they had Monday off,
Yeah, so Cora shaved Monday.
and they're undefeated.
That's
prove
such a
me wrong.
homer thing to say, Rubber
Prove
Shoes.
me wrong.
amazing.
That is
It's
such a
amazing.
homer
I love
thing
it.
to
No, I
say.
love it.
Dude,
I love it.
I
Undefeated.
4,000% want this to go well. I would love
Of
to get to the
course.
playoffs, all the things. And I'm sticking to my 83. I love it.
I
Sticking
think
to
you'll
it.
be dead on. Honestly, I made fun of you at first, but I think you'll be dead on.
Yeah, I don't.
The way it's going.
Seriously, I don't think they're the team that played the first month and a half. They're not the total opposite. Like
Yep.
playing 800 plus ball, but they're definitely better than what they showed. They're gonna start hitting. Trevor Story started hitting the last few games. We have Devers, Bogarts, and Martinez have been consistent. It's the
Yep.
other guys that started off real slow, and I feel they're gonna pick it up. Bobby Dahlbach can't stay as bad as he is. Kike Hernandez is batting under 200 right now. He's not going to stay down there. So I feel as bad as they've been, they have to turn around, or they're like the worst team in the league.
Like 83 wins, or
No,
They're not as bad as the
nine-
Reds.
nine-
The Reds
no,
are the
no,
worst.
yeah,
Right,
no.
the
Stay
Red-
with
the
me on
Reds
this,
are-
and we talk about this every year. I would rather have them be where they are now than, because I don't know. I feel like my entire life, if they go into the break super hot, they come out the other side a mess. So I'd love for them to have a ton of work to do, and there's a ton of time for them to put together these huge chunks of bigger than 1-game streaks, by the way, undefeated, right? Yeah,
Undefeated.
there's a whole bunch of time for them to get better. So if they are going to shite the bed, I'm thrilled they're doing it now, and I think there's a lot of click that can come into play. I don't know. I mean, the pitching just still concerns the hell out of me.
their starter pitch has been fairly consistent. Although it sucks that Walker got hurt. He was their best pitcher. Well, him and Evaldi, I would say, tied for being their best pitcher. Tanner
Yeah.
Houck, I don't know what the hell happened to him. They took him out. He didn't go to Toronto because he's not vaccinated.
Not vaccinated, yep.
They put him in the bullpen, and he's just lost his shit since he went back there. So, and Garrett Whitlock didn't look great last night, but they still won. So, I think their
Undefeated.
pitching is pretty good. Their starters have been really good. Their bullpen is inconsistent. And that's the thing I hate about the new style of baseball, where your starters are going 4 or 5 innings, and
5
then
tops,
it's like
right, yep.
it's like what are you gonna get out of? You could have guys 2 out of 3 appearances out of the bullpen, they're good, but that one they give up 10 runs. So
Right.
it's you're dealing with 5-6 pitchers a game. You're hoping that they're all going to be on that game. That's what I don't like about this new style of baseball with the pitchers.
I also think that when they put this team together, they didn't think that hitting would be what it is right now. You know, they're not scoring runs. You know, so they're putting a lot of pressure on the staff to keep them in games because they're just not scoring runs. This is a team that should be scoring way more.
Right.
You know, like a top 5, top 8 team in runs. You know, and they're just not doing that right now. And I think they're built for that. They're not built to be a shutdown staff. You know, they're built to score runs and have, you know, good pitching performances. Not, but, you know, doesn't always have to be lights out. Is what I'm saying.
Right.
They should be winning games 5-4. You know, 8-6, whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Last night was the blueprint of what this team should be.
It's the schematic for undefeated. I'm very
That's
excited.
how they stay undefeated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
do
they
exactly what they
figured
did
it
last
out.
night.
Now they're
We're gonna unfurl it
they're on
on
their
a
way.
huge table. Put down a couple of paperweights like the Death Star.
All right,
And
everybody
the good thing
pull
is
up your
we
laptop.
won't be watching it because the Celtics will be on at the same time. So it doesn't.
Thank God. Well, all I can tell you, and Rubber Shoes knows this, if the Red Sox are doing well, Cheryl's happy. And when Cheryl's happy, everybody's happy. And she was not happy on Mother's Day, I can tell you that much.
Oh,
Oh no! That's
What a travesty that was. Dear Lord.
Did you bring her a cocktail or anything at least? To...
We met at Rubber Shoes will know where this is, Nobo in Chelmsford. And got the dead fish and some cocktails, yes.
Oh, is that right downtown?
Yeah,
the center of
dude,
town?
it's so funny. I'm pulling into Chelmsdale with the boys, and we're cutting in the back way, and we're going down Summer Street, and Aiden's like, "Is this all Chelmsford?" I'm like, "It's been gentrified." Yeah, like she's a little different, and we pull into the plaza that used to just be Marshalls and Purity Supreme, right?
Oh yes.
And it's like ding, 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 ding. Like it's like they got 9 stores in there now, and one of them is a Japanese place called Nobo, and it's legit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
legit. So that's where we hung out. That's where we hung
That
out.
little Greek place in there is pretty good too.
All the places are good. Like Chelmsford's legit on restaurants right now, through the roof.
So let me put this out there to the group.
Okay.
And this is kind of a stacked question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Of the 4 major Boston sports teams, who is the next team to win a championship?
Celtics.
Okay.
Celtics.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
I think they're.
That's not just because they're in the playoffs currently?
1,000% is.
Well, it's,
okay.
Yes,
All right.
yeah.
It's,
I
so
think the
basically,
circumstances for the
the same
season,
question is who's the closest to winning another one, and it's the Celtics.
Well, not
definitely.
close, but yeah, I mean they're closest, like in number of games it
No,
would
but
take
they're
them to get.
the way their
to a
team is
championship.
built right now. They're the closest to being able to win a championship.
Okay, I agree. I was just curious if anybody might have said the Red Sox. I mean, they're undefeated since last night, so
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, last year they were they win Game 7 with Tampa, and they could have been in the World Series if they won that game, I believe, right? So
true, true.
Yeah.
The Patriots were only 3 games away from the Super Bowl. So
Oh boy. No,
Did we
boy.
lose to Houston in 6 in the ALCS?
last year,
Yeah, because we beat Tampa Bay. Because we beat the Yankees,
so,
and then we
okay.
played Tampa in the ALDS. We beat them, and then we lost to Houston.
Oh yeah,
I
that's
think
right.
it's
That
16.
Garcia
Yeah.
pitcher with the salsa
Yes,
dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Salsa
We lit
dancing.
up that first game we played him, and then
Yeah.
he freaking shut it down the next
Yeah.
time.
Because he had the sticky stuff on his fingers for the second game.
Yes. And then he forgot how to pitch, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about the elephant on the screen here.
The
or
elephant in the
just-
corner, the Bruins hopes and
Well,
dreams.
the good thing is
I'm not
Bruins
totally
are going to
checked
Game
out.
7. They're going to Game 7. The bad thing is they haven't won a
Carolina.
game in Carolina all season or the playoffs,
Yeah.
and they've gotten their ass kicked like 18 goals to 4, I
To
think.
2, right.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a chance, as they said in.
how come you and
Dumb and
Mother
Dumber.
Shoes didn't go to a game? Rubber Shoes.
I do not like going to playoff games.
Huh.
Oh, I'm here
because
for this. Tell me more.
Oh,
What is? Tell me.
As usually, I'm in my living room by myself because no one else can stand me when I'm watching.
Nude.
playoff.
Keep going.
It's like I get really it's hard to be at the fire station because
Nude.
I don't like to wake people up. No, never nude.
Is that your hose, or are you just excited about the playoffs?
I have a whole closet of jerseys to wear, you dummy. I have way too many jerseys to be watching TV nude.
I didn't. Can
Just
you
nude on the bottom.
when the playoffs hit?
Yeah.
When the playoffs hit, because here's the thing,
Half
the
nude.
new math that William Corey has to strategize through because of his local affiliations. Then you have all of his other teams, his adjunct teams.
Oh, the number one pick in the draft. Thanks for bringing that up.
All of these things in his closet. He has to determine what shirt he's wearing for what game, how many chains. Like he's like Celine.
That's a lot.
He's
to
like
figure out.
Celine in
So-
between sets.
Okay,
There's
so people
wardrobe
gotta
changes,
pick
and
your-
then you have to factor in his schedule. It's like that scene from A Beautiful Mind with all the numbers and the math swooshing around, right? Like he's trying to figure out. I didn't. You must go manic.
You're Adam. You're laughing like he's making fun of me, but this is all true.
Oh no, I'm
Oh, yeah.
laughing because it's true,
Yeah.
not because he's making fun of you.
Yes.
Because I know it's
because
true.
it's true.
Yep.
Like that's what the
Yeah.
title is.
I
Yep.
my favorite
Hats and
thing is
shoes
on,
floating around.
during the football season when there's 3 games and I get the Patriots. So I get to wear Mac Jones at 1:00. I get to wear Aaron Rodgers at 4, and then I get to wear Tom Brady at 8.
There are wardrobe changes.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
For the record, for our listener, he
Yes.
is the senior member, right? like if Little Shoes was saying this, you'd be like, "Oh, I understand. He's younger."
Okay, yeah,
No,
I get that. Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah, when you're 17, you get a
He
pass.
is the adult
when
in
you're
the room.
51,
Yeah, he is the adult in the room,
yeah.
Age is
making
only a
3
number.
wardrobe changes
Wow.
that may or
So
may
did-
not involve salsa and queso, right? Yeah, so it's probably a culinary free for all because he's like, doesn't matter, taking it off in 20 minutes. Yeah.
So, there
So
was,
when you're rubber shoes, when
Celtics-
you're at the firehouse, what are you wearing? I mean, I know that you're wearing your uniform, but will you put a jersey on over while the Celtics are playing, or? Oh,
I
no.
think I did I think I had to work one of either the AFC championship game or I don't think I've worked a Super Bowl that they've played in, but I think it was an AFC championship game, and I had worn the same jersey like the 3 weeks in a row, and then so I did bring it in and put it on that day, and they did win. You're welcome.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God. The rubber shoes juju comes for the win.
Oh my God.
Well, until you guys are on a call, like,
Incredible.
if you guys aren't on the truck, aren't on a call, while on duty, and while on shift, are you allowed to just be like in
Nude.
your blues and you can just have a shirt on, or do you have to have your actual uniform head to toe on?
So from 8 to 5, 8 to 6. 8 to 6 was supposed to be in our uniform. After
Okay.
6, we can
A little more
be in,
cash. Okay.
in t-shirt. Yeah.
Okay. So with kickoffs typically being at 6:35 for a Super Bowl, that's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
6:18, whatever they do.
I
So
just have
do you
to
have
make
a-
sure I take it off before I go on the call.
Can you imagine some person speaking to the authorities at the hospital who saved you? Mac Jones. What is that boy not willing to do for New England, right?
Right?
But it's weird. But it's weird though because he also had an Aaron Rodgers jersey underneath. I don't understand.
Honest to God.
Wow.
Can't wait to get my TB12 Fox jersey.
Here we go.
Oh,
we
let's
go.
talk about it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
cat's out.
375 million? Is that what it was?
375 for 375 for 10 years. And I forgot about
Starting
this.
whenever he wants
And
to.
this-
Whatever.
this-
We don't even know if he's good.
Yeah.
Well, and I thought about this because I thought for sure when he was going to be done, he'd be done. And who knows? I mean, maybe this is a lot of smoke, but I feel like there's got to be a fire because there's a lot of smoke about this story. So 375 for 10 years. When he's ready to do it, I think most people think that he does this with the Bucks, then he goes 1 year to Miami or solidifies some ownership or plays 1 year with Miami, maybe not. And then he is off to the booth for 10 years for 375, as Scotty brought up, which is more than he made collectively under center for his entire career, which is amazing.
Wow.
Because
Wow,
of
that's
what
crazy.
he did for us here in New England. Thank you, Tommy. That being said,
Does it-
go
Does
ahead.
anyone have the number of, like, I would love to see his, so he made 332, I think, from NFL contracts alone, right?
Yeah.
As a player, 375 with this new one. I would love to know his endorsements.
Oh,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
we
And, like,
we could
Oh,
certainly.
I mean,
that picture. I don't know if you guys. I'm sure you saw it with him, Beckham, Jordan, and the race car driver, the F1 driver. I'm forgetting his name, but I don't know if you saw that picture. They're all standing together, and I'm like, that's just billions of dollars right there.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, he's approaching Jordan money.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, he's got
be, right?
he's got UGG, he's got Breitling, he's got the black mattress. I'm leaving. Never mind TB12. Never mind now Brady brand, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So the great point, Scotty. I mean,
I gotta go move my stuff. I'll be back if you're still there.
if we're still here. If we're still here.
All right.
All right, brother.
If not, peace out.
Buddy.
We'll see you soon.
Later.
Yeah, buddy.
Is he muted? He's muted.
Where's
Excellent.
he going?
Just checking. Be so funny now. You see people running by, right? So
There's a cat in the tree. Somebody get over there.
So yeah, I mean that's got to be a big number, Scotty. Right? That's got to be a big number. What's incredible, and this is so true. Fox has the Super Bowl. So if he gets eliminated from play,
sure.
So you could almost, I mean, the running joke would be like, do you know Brady's guaranteed to go to the Super Bowl? Because do you think Fox would make it worth his while to be in the booth? Now I don't know if his feelings would be hurt and he wouldn't be ready to jump in there right away. I think he could probably tell them, yeah, I know my deal's for $375, but this is unprecedented. I want X.
Right.
Or
I don't think we go down this rabbit hole today, but think about it. Like the NFC, it's a kind of almost a cakewalk for him right now, right? I mean, the Packers lost their number one receiver. The Seahawks lost Russell Wilson. I mean, go down the list, and there's not really a team that
the Rams are the heir apparent, obviously, and I think they present the biggest challenge.
But they also lost Von Miller.
Right. And didn't Aaron Donald say he's not coming back too?
No, he's there.
No, he's in camp. He's coming back. Yeah, he's hanging out. Right. He's doing the thing.
All right. Well, so maybe, but I don't know. I just think it's.
But it's wildly difficult to repeat.
Right.
So
and it's basically outside of that,
is a lot harder this year.
Yeah.
AFC is loaded.
So does he get his 8th ring? Right.
I hope so.
And
I hope so against Patrick Mahomes. I hope he just
1,000%. Yes.
Screwing Patrick Mahomes out of a ring.
It's going to depend on who's on the other side of the field for me to care about him getting his 8th ring. And I adore him.
Agreed.
And that's, I think people are going to realize that when they hear this math, and one of the bullet points is the 375 from Fox over 10 years is more than he made in 20 years under center. That's what people don't realize, that he took that hit for so many years for us to make sure he kept the band together around him. And to somebody, I think Adam said, is he going to be good? I think he will be good, because I think he there's not a piece of him that wants to do anything half-ass. I think he will get whatever he needs. Elocution coaches, all that stuff, and he's very well spoken. I'm not saying that. I think he will work on it. He'll probably get a performance coach and all that. He probably will, because why wouldn't he? And I think a piece of this is he saw the Manning brothers doing their thing, and he would be very uncomfortable in that environment. But where he gets to be the expert athlete in the booth, and they already said who he'll be doing it with. I forget who the analyst is going to be with. He's the color analyst. I forget who the broadcaster is going to be.
I forget too.
And they're doing it, which really excites me. And this is so weird. I forgot that Aikman and Buck are going to ESPN.
Right.
And that's a huge change, which is good for ESPN, because they've sort of suffered trying to keep that booth together.
It's so bad.
It's really interesting, and it's weird that their number one team at Fox is going to be goofy until he does decide to come back. He is. Speaking of back, he's back. I love all of this.
There he is.
Look at that. Awesome. Your thoughts, sir? We're talking about Brady going to the booth whenever he's done. Are you going to get a Fox shirt? Oh, my God. He's going to get Brady 25.
Yeah.
Right?
Maybe they'll change the channel 12.
Channel 12? Fox 12, Boston.
Oh, my God.
The little bit that I've seen him on, he does a lot of stuff on Instagram and with the guy he does that with every Monday night.
Jim
guy.
Yeah, Jim Gray.
Jim Gray.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's very good as far as speaking wise. It'll be interesting because I thought, like, between Manning and him on Saturday Night Live,
Yep.
Manning was so good.
Manning's
And
amazing. He's hysterical. Yeah.
Tom was okay.
Yep.
Like, he was funny, but he was. So we'll see how he comes off in front of the camera.
I was just saying to the guys, he'll get a performance coach.
Oh,
Like,
100%.
he will get good at this. He
Oh,
will
yeah.
not do this and not be good for 10 years.
Maybe already doing it. You know, he's
Yep.
been
Right.
really good on like the man in the arena.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think he's been doing it over the course of probably the last 10 years, probably building up to this.
I think the analytics that he'll bring to it and the way, like, I always love that scene during the it's not the 30 for 30, but the Football Life when they did the Belichick one, and him and Belichick
I know what
being
you're
there,
talking
and they're talking about doing the cross to get Ed Reed, we're talking about Ed Reed, and just the way the detail. That's what I'm envisioning that he's going to bring, that type of talk when he's there. Very Tony Romo-ish, obviously.
Yep.
Better because he's just a better
Romo
quarterback.
in his first year.
Yeah, and less. It's gonna be great, Jim.
Yeah,
Like,
here
he's
we
gonna
go,
catch it
Jim.
in a second.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing?
No, Romo has definitely cashed it in the last few years. He used to give you so much pre-snap reads.
Yes.
And then over it's like he's not doing.
Yeah,
his
see how he
homework
dropped his
now.
left foot back? They're definitely
Yeah.
going to check down. Like, he had
Right.
all that. He was,
Yeah.
and he still is super smart. Yeah, he is resting on his laurels. I still like watching him, much like Collinsworth on NBC, whichever way the wind is blowing is where he clearly gets biased, which is tough to watch. What'll be interesting is, and it won't be every time, although I wouldn't be shocked if they do this, as long as Belichick is there for the next few years. Anytime the NFC goes into an AFC venue, Fox gets. You would think that it would go to CBS because it's an AFC venue, but when the NFC goes to an AFC venue, Fox gets the game.
Yeah.
And I think they will be very strategic about how many times they can get Brady to call a Belichick game.
Oh, 100%.
And beyond the shadow of a doubt, I know Cheryl has no use. We don't. Have, that's a whole nother show. Cheryl wants him to just go away. So Rubber Shoes,
Really?
you'll have to go over Rubber Shoes and have a conversation with Cheryl about this. Yeah, she's done. I texted her right away because I knew it would get her dander up,
Yeah.
and she's like, "Go away!" Oh yeah, no use whatsoever.
I believe.
I think the ratings are going to go through the roof.
Oh,
Mother
100%.
Shoes is in the same boat. She's just like done with them.
Yeah, the ratings are going to go through the roof. They're going to get people watching NFC games they would have never watched because Brady's doing the call.
Oh,
Has
I will
has
watch
anyone
it. I will
watched
definitely
the-
watch, yeah.
Oh,
Has
wow.
anyone watched the last episode of Man in the Arena? I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't
watching it
finished
this
the
weekend.
first
Is it
one.
about
I don't
Tampa
think.
Bay?
I'm way behind.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
way
Is it
behind.
about Tampa Bay?
Yeah, it's the wrap up. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that they put that out. Okay, I watched all of the other ones. But...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't seen it.
Wouldn't you
yet.
want to be a fly on the wall though on those like production meetings that they have, like they always talk about with like when they meet with the coaches before the
Oh,
games?
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would love to be sitting in there and listening to Brady ask like Belichick questions and stuff like. Oh my God, that's got to be amazing.
You know, the best thing about it for Patriots fans is, he's going to be like an open book now and just like spill every secret that he ever had. Because he probably, judging from how he's been in Tampa Bay, he must have hated being, wrapped up and not being able to talk freely about his feelings and all that. So it's going to be like a treasure trove of information, I think.
I don't think he's going to
don't-
be that forthcoming.
Yeah. No, I don't
No?
think
No.
I feel yes, things ended kind of ugly there, but they still have much respect for each other between Bill and Tom. That I don't think you'll hear anything come out about one saying anything about the other one negative. I don't think.
No,
I
I'm
think-
not saying negative necessarily, but like, when we used to game plan, Belichick would tell us this or something like that. I'm not saying he's going to come out and say Belichick's an asshole. I don't think he's going to do that.
I honestly think I think there's obviously a little bit there's a little bit of grind towards both of them. I think he's more upset with Kraft
Oh,
because
interesting.
Kraft had the final say on what happened.
Yep.
Ultimately,
I
I
agree
think
with
I think he's more upset with. And if you think back, remember that movie scene? He did that movie where he walked out and it was at a spa.
Yeah.
And I forget the premise of the whole scene.
yeah, was it the
He
ESPYs?
was
Was
making fun of not Belichick in that scene. He was making fun of Kraft. And they say, and his agents say, oh, he didn't really know the context of the scene and all that
Which is
kind of
such bullshit.
stuff. Yeah, that was a direct shot across the bow. at Kraft because Kraft had the purse strings and the power to ultimately make the final decision.
Yeah, fair enough.
And
I agree.
they didn't buck up. And all he wanted, when you think about this, it makes me want to jump out of a window I can't open. All he wanted was 25 a year.
Right.
And they just gave that to the mullet in Green Bay, which is just amazing. We'll see how that goes. I know, and I don't want to insult you. I don't know if Billy Corey has that on under his Brady shirt today or over it, but it's in there somewhere.
Somewhere.
He's at the firehouse. It's underoos. His NFL underoos.
Yeah.
Yep.
So someday we need to have a show dedicated to winning time, so Rubber Shoes can tell us all about how great the Lakers were back in the '80s.
Oh my God.
I love that series. That's it. Freaking loving it.
No kidding. No kidding. Unbelievable.
I understand. Like they made Auerbach and Bird just look like total assholes, which I can understand. They weren't like that in real life. I understand that.
I think they took a
But
lot of artistic
I've
license.
enjoyed
Bit of an asshole.
all the other stuff. Not like there's only been a snippet of Celtics stuff. I mean, they're always trying to go up against the Celtics as far as being able to get to the how many championships they win versus the Celtics. But I mean, most of it's been pretty good, not just Celtics bashing.
I haven't watched it, but I heard that they switched it so that the MVP that Kareem won, they gave to Magic. Is that true?
I haven't. I don't think I've seen that episode yet. Thanks for
okay.
ruining it.
All right. Yeah,
We're
you're
gonna
welcome.
Thanks for ruining it.
Spoiler alert.
gonna
Yeah.
Get
It's all
interrupted
stuff
by
that's
a
actually
4-year-old who
happened,
seems to be
So
upset.
Is she coming down? I love this.
Oh, we
I
need to
would
get her
say
pick for
coming in
tonight's
hot.
game. Tell her
Most
to
of
give us
the,
her
uh,
pick for tonight's game.
Ava is telling us to wrap it up, so we're gonna
wrap it up.
We're gonna get the heave ho in a second. Hang
Dad,
on.
I gotta
Oh,
go mow the
Scotty's
lawn,
leaving.
Dad.
Most of the episodes I've seen, I've like Googled and fact checked stuff. A lot of, I mean, they definitely dramatize it, and I mean, some of the stuff they show in this, if these guys were really doing it, they're gonna be suing someone because it's showing some
I love
pretty
all of
bad
this.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so
Hi.
Ava, we need some predictions. Can you hear me? We need some predictions.
Okay, predictions. You ready?
So Hurricanes or Bruins?
Who's going to win, Hurricanes or Bruins?
Oh,
you hear that?
probably right.
Hurricanes.
Probably right.
That was
Hurricanes.
definitely Hurricanes.
Okay.
Yep.
I
We don't like the
that.
answer, but it's probably
Smart
true.
girl. Apple doesn't fall that far from the tree. All right, Celtics or Bucks?
Celtics or Bucks?
Oh!
All right, so Ava's sleeping outdoors today. That's
And
cool. All right.
are the Red Sox going to win every game the rest of the season?
Are the Red Sox going to win every game the rest of the year?
Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
She goes to the rubber shoes.
All over the map.
Yeah. She only got one prediction wrong so
And
far.
should Rubber Shoes seek professional help?
Rubber shoes seek help.
Yes or
Yes
yes?
Yeah.
Yes. Way to wrap it up. All right. Ava says we're done. Uncle Dukes is taking off to go have dinner. For Adam, Rubber Shoes. Little Shoes, who's not here. The Bruins' hopes, also missing. Scotty Dukes, Ava, everybody at the Dukes household, and myself. Timmy, thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you watching.
Bye.
Please share with a friend, comment, like, and subscribe. And you can grab all the content and Rubber Shoes on Instagram every morning. Head right over to atbshow.com. See you, kiddo. Have a great night. Bye.